So in this session, we'll be discussing how to install the guest OS in the virtual machine, and also we'll discuss further. So I believe my virtual machine is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Well,
so let me log into the ESXi host. So in the previous session, we have created the virtual machine. So if you want to install operating system in the virtual machine, so basically you need to mount the installation media. So mounting installation media in the sense you have two options. One is you can insert the CD-ROM in the physical CD drive of the physical host, and that can be mounted to your virtual machine. The other option is if you have ISO files stored inside the data store. So here in the data store of this host, I have the ISO files. So if you have ISO files inside the data store, so these ISO files can be mounted as a CD-ROM for a virtual machine. So if you want to upload the ISO files inside the data store, you can use the option. You can go to the browse data store, and from there you'll have the option and upload. So when you click on the upload button, it will ask you to locate the uh, ISO file. So if you have the ISO file in your local machine, you can upload it to the ESXi data store. So since already I have uploaded, so we can use this. So first of all, I want to mount this ISO file to my virtual machine. So let me go to the demo virtual machine, go to actions, and where you can see the option edit settings. So from there, you can see the default configuration is data store ISO file. And from here we can, if in case needed, you can change the data store ISO file. And in case if you want to change the host device, you can change it from here. But currently I'll go with the data store ISO file, and that will get connected at power on automatically. Then we can save it. And now we'll get into the console of the virtual machine. Sorry. So now the virtual machine started booting from the installation media, and from here on, all the installation procedures will be same as of any of in your physical machine. What are all the steps? You'll have the same steps you can see here too. So let me change the keyboard language. So I'm just setting the time and currency format. Then we can proceed further. All the steps are same as like you install operating system in any physical machine. The similar steps, and accept the license agreement. Then give next. And here you can see your virtual disk, which was presented for this virtual machine. While creating the virtual machine, we have presented 48 GB. So that is listed over here. And I want to install OS in the same drive. So now the installation began. So it will take a couple of minutes. So we'll just wait for a while for this installation to complete. So once the installation is done, we'll continue with the further configurations. Okay, so the installation is done, and we'll continue further. So you can give the you can create a username for this virtual machine. Let me just give some security questions. So the installation, you can see it's quite similar like your installation on a physical machine. And I have a question for you. After installing the operating system on a physical machine, what is the next action you will do? Sudarshan? Sorry, Surender.
Sir,
After installing the operating system in a physical machine, what will be your next action?
basic software and IP config.
So you'll install the software. Okay. And Mr. Ramesh, what is your point? After installing guest OS or after installing OS in a physical machine, what will be your next action? Okay, see, generally after installing the operating system in a physical machine, the first action you should take is to install the device drivers. So that should be the first action, because while installing the operating system, it'll detect all the hardwares and uh, the operating system itself will have the uh, compatible drivers or standard drivers. So all those standard drivers will be working for your hardware, but the standard drivers or the compatible drivers cannot give the optimal performance. So to make your virtual machine to work with optimal performance, so basically you need to install the device drivers. So that is for a physical machine as well as even for a virtual machine. And basically from where you'll get the device drivers. See, generally the hardware manufacturer will give you the device drivers. And here, who is the hardware manufacturer? So here we are creating the virtual machine on top of VMware's hypervisor. So basically here the hardware is going to be created through the VMware's hypervisor product. So the device driver also should be given by the uh, VMware. And here, let me show you the device drivers. Let me go to the device manager. And here you can see there are some base system drivers are not installed, and even all the other drivers, or you can see the standard drivers are installed. So, but this cannot give the optimal performance. So to achieve the optimal performance for your virtual machine, so basically you need to install the device driver for your virtual machine. And not only the device driver, so generally your physical host should have control on the virtual machine. See, basically, let me try to shut down the virtual machine or restart the virtual machine from the host. And here you can see from the host, I'm not able to shut down or restart. Why? Because basically the hypervisor itself will not have any control on the guest operating system. So because guest operating system is going to work independently. So if the hypervisor or the VMware ESX need control on the guest OS, not the complete control, certain level of control, at least power on, restart, or shut down, these kind of controls the the hypervisor should have. So basically, this can be possible by installing the uh, ESX servers agent in the virtual machine. So when the ESX servers agent is running in the virtual machine, so in that case, the hypervisor can instruct the VMware's agent. So VMware's agent can take the appropriate action on the targeted virtual machine. So the agent, after installing the guest OS, so basically the device drivers has to be installed and the host agent should be installed. Basically, VMware offers this device drivers and the uh, agents, the host agent and the vCenter agent as a single package. So the package name is VMware Tools. So basically, after installing the guest OS in the virtual machine, so you need to install the VMware Tools. So once the VMware Tools is installed in the guest OS, so basically the device drivers as well as the host agent and vCenter agents are installed on the virtual machines guest OS. Is that clear for you all? If there is any questions, please let me know.
Yeah, it's clear, sir.
Okay, so now we'll see how to install the VMware tools. Basically, VMware tools will be available as an ISO file, and this ISO file will be present in the hypervisor itself. So by default, the ISO file will be stored in the hypervisor itself. So whenever you uh, um, enable or whenever you try to install the VMware tools in the guest OS, and that VMware tools ISO will get mounted as the CD-ROM, and from there the installation will begin. So to install the VMware tools, you can go to the actions of a virtual machine. Under guest OS, you can find the option install VMware tools. So let me click on the install VMware tools option. So immediately here you can notice the CD-ROM will change. So, and here you can see VMware tools ISO is now available, and usually uh, the installation will auto run. In case if the auto run is disabled in your machine, so you can manually run the installation. And installation is as simple as any Windows software. So nothing more complex steps. Just you can follow the on-screen instructions. So now the VMware Tools is getting installed. And the installation is done. We can finish the installation. So once the installation is done, it'll require to reboot the machine. So you need to reboot it. Okay. Okay. So now you can first verify the device drivers. So earlier some base system drivers was not installed, and now you can witness all the drivers are installed and all the drivers are updated with the VMware driver. So that's how the system can give the optimal performance. And also the system tray, you can notice the VMware tools running. And from here, now the host can uh, shut down or restart the guest OS. So because the host agent is running on the virtual machine, so now through the agent, so the hypervisor will be able to do some kind of activities on the guest OS of the virtual machine. And also under the summary of the virtual machine, you can find the VMware tools installed, and it says yes. So all your virtual machines, whichever running in your production environment, so that should be running with the VMware tools. You need to make sure that. Is that clear up to this? If there is any questions, please let me know.
And no question.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
VM tools, sir,
yeah,
VM tools we can able to download online. Yes.
what?
VM tools is inbuilt in
No,
your
the
iOS.
VMware tools is already present in the hypervisor itself. You need not to download it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe under the data store also you can see somewhere. I can show you here. I'm just going to edit settings under CD-ROM. Just try to browse the ISO file, and here you can see VM images.
Yeah.
Okay, so under this VM images, you can see the tools. So tools for Linux operating system, Windows operating system, and so on.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Got it. Sir.
Okay, and that's it for today's session. So the next session will be discussing about the virtual machine snapshot. So I request you all to do the same in your lab. So create the virtual machine, install the guest OS, and install the VMware tools. and we'll continue the remaining topic in the next class. Okay. And thank you all for joining the session. Bye bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Thank you.